Well, hello. Hey and howdy. This is Secondhand Dan coming to you from Homosassa, Florida. The 4th of January 2026, day before my grandson's birthday. So I got a present going up his way through Amazon. I'm sending him the Hulk cartoon videos. So he's going to be 3. So I know he's been getting his Hulk on lately, so hope he enjoys that. I'll have to call him tomorrow and see. Although I am blessed to be in the Sunshine State, right now we seem to be lacking a bit of sunshine. It's gray skies, but a bad day in Florida can be way better than a good day up north sometimes, huh? So I'm content with the weather. Right now, it's about 65. I got this jacket on, I guess if I worked up, I could probably end up taking it off if I was working with a shovel or something like that. But what I'm actually going to do is work with a couple of hand tools. I picked up a motor on the side of the road. I thought I'd tear into it and see if it's got some scrap product inside, namely copper. I'm not too confident it does, though, because when I picked it up, I thought it felt a little bit light. But let's go check it out. All right, well, it's in my Lexus RX. That car's been featured in some videos. I did a sway bar link repair on it, and I did some other investigations video on it. Let's see if it's going to open up when I squeeze this. It made a noise and stopped and latched again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Does that, I guess it just unlocks it. I don't know. All right, well, anyway, there is the motor that I picked up about an hour ago on the side of the road. Evidently it was a bench grinder. So I don't know if it just burned out on them. They cut the cord off. They took the shields off. Still turns freely. Doesn't feel like it's rattling or anything like that. Looks like aluminum there. Steel here. So let's tear into it and see if it's got any copper inside. Well, I'm going to have to set up a little workbench out here with these 2 sawhorses. I mean, normally you could tear something like that apart inside the workshop, but the workshop does not seem to be doing too well right now. It is a big cluster of everything. A lot of this is due to in a hurry, getting ready to leave last year, and I haven't caught up with it yet this year. So we're going to work on that tear down on the outside. I actually did get 2 lawnmowers out of here, push mowers, and the riding tractor. I got that out of here, and I had a washing machine. So those are all things I got out in these past 2 weeks. So I've created a little bit of room, but I got to get back on that. But for now, I want to go ahead and tear down this motor. There's the other sawhorse. Let me open this door. I think I have carpal tunnel. My wrist has been hurting for like 7 months now. I mean, it's not as bad as when it first started hurting, but I'm guessing carpal tunnel because it hasn't gotten any worse. It hasn't gotten any better. There's no lumps on it. Anybody out there have carpal tunnel? I always thought carpal tunnel was in like the fingers and knuckles, but this is largely my wrist. We can see I'm still carrying it, even though this is awkward. I have a new microphone coming for the camera. I have two of them, but I managed to leave them both in Pittsburgh. They are cheap, so I think for like $26 delivered to my door here, I'll be getting a wireless microphone. So let's go ahead and grab a tripod. We're going to need a sheet of plywood or something to form the workbench. Maybe I'm a little too far away from the tool source. Let's go ahead and move this closer. That's the problem. I mean, this property, you can see the driveway out there behind the car, or the road, but it all seems to gradually slope down this way. So I don't have the most level of lots. I was at the auction the other day and I was considering buying a carport that was, they were selling. But it went for too much. I would have paid more if I knew exactly where I was going to put it once I bought it. I'm thinking maybe right next to the shed here. Right there. So, but that would affect what I do. You can see the way the pickup truck is facing right now. I drive it in between those two trees and I come along the fence line and I come up here. And so I can make a complete circle, go between the railroad ties out there and leave. But if I was to put that carport here, it would have to be, I guess, this way forward. Because if I match the back end with the back end of the shed, I wouldn't be able to, I think, swing the turn on the truck to come under it and go through it. So I'm thinking maybe if I match the rear corner with the rear corner of the front corner of the shed and then bring it out this way. But I digress. I didn't get the item. I think it went for $1,100, $1,200, but I think, and it was in really good condition. And they go for close to $4,000, I think. And it wasn't that, you know, it was erected, so I would have to take it apart, load it up in my truck, probably at least 2 trips, and then put it back together, level it. You know, it'd be nice to have. But there, that it would be in the path of the truck, I would have to always not leave stuff under it. So I guess the other option would be to put it on this side of the building, which sounds like a good idea now that I just mentioned it. Maybe I'll just get some fill and try and level that so it doesn't slope downhill. Because like from where I'm standing here at the corner, there's at least maybe 18-inch drop to the fence post back there, all total. But then if I backfill this, I could match it with the back corner of that. And then I'd have my outdoor working space. Because I'm not worried about, a lot of people, they get the carport, guess what? For the car. But I'm just thinking for an outdoor working space. Because it's a little cramped inside the shed right now. And plus, you know, it's dark in there. I like it's sunny and airy outside. Plus you can do stuff like, you know, spray painting without getting all over everything, or power washing, and still not be in the direct sunlight. Anyway, I digressed once again. Okay, well, let's get this sawhorse up. I'm going to go ahead and push in the tripod. The thing is, I'll have to speak louder, being that I don't have the microphone. Okay. Oh, don't maybe just move the tripod a bit closer too to compensate for not having the microphone. Having the microphone is great because I could walk yards away and it would be like I'm right next to the camera. Okay, stepping away from the camera. picking up a sawhorse. These are cheesy sawhorses, but I'm sure I don't pay like $5 for them. Gotta watch they don't cut me, pinch me. Oh, I think it snagged my jacket already. Okay. Now put a topper on it. I gotta find something I don't mind getting greasy and nicked up. And I think I found it. Check this out. Estate sale ahead. 238 Willow. That's where I used to live in Monroeville. And I think I was using this as planks or something. Do I have termites? Look at that. I don't know, maybe I had this sitting outside last year. But that definitely looks like termite damage. I gotta keep an eye out for them little buggers, make sure they're not chewing on the shed. Can't have that. Alright, I'll look for evidence of termites later. I suspect this is a maybe a Harbor Freight special. Let's say it ain't that heavy. Let's get you in a little closer. Okay, it looks like Phillips screws. It's a Phillips / slotted screw. I can probably maybe dig out my 18-volt D-wall. I just purchased, they haven't arrived yet, maybe another day or two. This is the D-volt 18 volt. Moving on up to the 20 volt. Oh, woo, smoking. So I got this takes the bits in it. The 6-sided bits, but the impact gun I've ordered takes the 3/8 sockets. And of course, you can adapt the right socket into taking the 6-sided bits. So that gun's on its way out anyway. I think I have another one. I know I got drills. Well, not am I getting a 3/8 drive impact gun. I think it's coming with a 1/2-inch impact gun, so that'll be great for taking off the tires off the cars and trucks. Let's see if this thing's gonna pull through. It was smoking like a cigarette there. Oh, I tightened it. Okay. I was on my way home from church when I saw this sitting on the shoulder of the road. I'm not a big scrapper, but you get motivated. You've seen some of these videos, these guys tearing things apart. They break it down into all the base metals, the aluminum, the steel, the copper, the brass. I actually melted, I got a forge and I melted a bunch of scrap silver I had and cashed that in at one of the pawnbrokers. Now I definitely did my homework because he tried to lowball me. I mean, come on, buddy, make some money off of me, but you ain't gonna make a killing. But last I checked, though, that was a year ago, but now silver, I believe, is up to $75 an ounce. And that was like a day or so ago. I checked that out. Gold is crazy. But you always think, well, what if I had saved my silver instead of cashing it in? It would be worth more. True, but inflation, you know, also affects it, even though it's worth more. Is it worth that much more? Yes, it would have been profitable to still have it. Percentage-wise, even up against inflation, I would have made more money, but I can't sit on everything. So I got the cat's paw here. I'm going to close up these box of starter bits before they bounce off and end up all over the ground. Oh, there's one more screw in there. I actually took electrical wiring and motor control back in my high school days in the trade school. Okay. Look at that armature. That's a cute thing there. Oh, ball bearing. Still nice and smooth. You know, I don't have the wherewithal to save all that stuff. You know, you probably could save the bearings just in case you needed them someday. But I don't think that's going to happen. What's a replacement bearings cost for something anyway? You know, probably get the pair off of Amazon for $5. Right now I'm just trying to separate the steel from the aluminum. Okay. Now there's a bearing inside there. So that would have to be driven out, otherwise it's dirty aluminum. If I'm taking this to the scrap yard, and every couple of months I manage to get to the scrap yard. I'm not one of those guys that rides around looking for scrap, but I just thought this was fun to tear into. Whoops. Check this out. Om. All right, let's take off the other side. Yep. Okay, so do the 3-card Monty here, the old skill game. Well, I need one more than that. Scrap aluminum. And there is copper in here. So I don't recall ever having separated windings from a motor for the copper. I see them do it all the time on the YouTube. I've got I melted that silver at one time. I also melted a batch of copper, so I have 2 large copper ingots. But that was stuff like plumbing, not wires. So I believe this is called the frame. Of course, those are the windings. The windings are, I don't know if the frame is notched inside there to hold the winding frame in place. All right, I might have to get out Rockwell. Rockwell is my horse. I did a video on him last year, so let's go get Rockwell. Basically, he's a vice and a sawhorse. have a tendency to leave this outside once it's out. I actually had to replace the rubber jaws, but I replaced them with something I got for free at one of the auctions. So we put him. Okay, there's 2 Phillips screws in the bottom of this. They're actually bigger than this bit, so I'm not sure if this bit's going to want to take it out, but we can try. Yeah, no problem there. That's something. This thing was, like, say, it was smoking like a cigarette, but it's still working. I mean, I'll take a load of steel in. I'm not big on looking for steel scrap like you see some people driving around neighborhoods, but I accumulate it, but I don't go looking for it. Ooh, that did not sound good. Try again. There's 2 Phillips screws holding this cord mount on the front. Yeah, I think that's not coming off. All right. Right now there's only 1 wire attaching it, so I'll clean that little piece of wire out of there in a little bit. Here's a thermal overload switch. I guess if the motor gets too hot, electricity's going to quit, so you don't set the motor on fire. I believe it's rated at 25 Celsius, that's a negative, and 70 Celsius on the positive side. So below 0 Celsius 25 and above 0 Celsius at 70. So that's almost like 100 degrees, I guess. Something this would kick off. I don't know why it would kick off if it was too cold though. Okay. Now there's nothing holding this in place as far as being bolted in. I think if I, is there a seam on this case? Now this case is cast iron. So that means if I bop it, it's liable to shatter and release that coil. So let's try the bop it method. Let me go get the bopping hammer. Oh, there's bopping hammers out here. Okay. Because once I crack it through, it should spring open enough to pull out the coil. Don't do this without safety glasses. Regular glasses qualify. Oh, that was easy peasy. Okay. Cast iron. Released. Copper winding. Now you can scrap it just like this. They have a classification at the scrap yard for electric motors. So that brings more than just mixed metal or tin. But the bad boys on the YouTube channel, they managed to get the copper out of this thing. So am I bad enough to get it out of there? Well, I'm going to attempt it. Just because I've never done it. And I'm not even saying it's worth doing. But like Mount Everest, because it's there, that's why I want to do it. Okay, so my plan of attack on removing the wire from this frame here is to chuck it in the vise and saw one side off. Okay. Put some torque on this mug. No, that's not much torque. A standard bench vise would be a lot better than in this case, but you know what? Let's go inside the shop and put it in a standard bench vise. So here's the vise I'll be using, and it's definitely going to work better than old Rockwell out there. But unfortunately, it's only bolted down to like 2x4s and plywood. So that's what I have to work with. Unlike my benches back at home in Pittsburgh, I got one that's a 1/2-inch steel surface, but the vise is bolted to. But let's turn on the light. Additional light's good. Speaking of additional light, I got these light fixtures up here. They're going to be replaced. You can see the paddles on them. 2 of them have gone out. Same dealie over there. And they're only like a year old, and there's not that many hours on them. So that's some of that. It's not as bad as Temu, but it was, I guess, a low-end flea market. They were brand new. So let me bolt this, clamp this wire into the vise. Maybe I'll be a little more motivated to start cleaning up the rest of the shop once I start working in it again. I still have a 18-volt, it's like, what do you call it, reciprocating saw. Some people just, generic term, a sawzall. Yeah, that's a lot better than the Rockwell right now. So right now I'm ducking and dodging, twisting and turning, trying to get around everything in here. Here's the 18-volt reciprocating, and the battery's dead, but I've got a lot of batteries. Starting with the battery that's in the impact gun, but let me drop this one into the charger. There's one. I got a dual charger, so it's got side-by-side batteries charging away. Okay. Well, I don't have to go any further. I thought this unit felt a little bit on the light side. Check this out. Although they look like a pretty copper color, once you saw into them, they are aluminum. So there's no money in, there wasn't going to be a lot of money in cutting it out if it was copper. But there's like just about zero in trying to salvage any aluminum, separating it from that steel. So I think we're done here. So that was interesting. I hope you found it interesting. I go ahead and clean up what little mess I made. Throw those things on the various scrap piles and call it a day and look for something else to do. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with Secondhand Dan. Give a like and a subscribe, and I'm going to keep making some more videos now that I'm down here in Florida and the weather's very agreeable. So, goodbye.